everyone, my name is Michael. You could call me Mike if you like. Today we're going to be talking about 3 things you can do to move your life forward and to regain vision for your life. Stay tuned. Proverbs 28:19 says, "Where there is no vision, people perish or cast off restraint." It actually is saying that where there's no vision, people kind of die, but they're still living. Sometimes we get in a place in our lives where we're just kind of living, but not really living. But when I read this verse again, the first part of it stuck out to me. Because I usually read it and would be like, oh, they don't have vision in that place, I should go somewhere else. But I don't really think that's what it's saying. It's saying where there's no vision. That's the first part that stuck out to me. And for me it meant you need to get around people who have vision and who are dreamers, who are people who are thinking or wanting to do the things that you're doing or are doing the things that you're doing. So that means if you want to get into photography or if you wanted to get into a new line of career, you need to start building relationships and connecting with people who are doing those things. So that's the first point that I want to give you today in order to regain your vision for life, is to add visionaries to your life. Notice I said add, not subtract everyone else, but add people, visionaries to your life. Sometimes we think that in order to get ahead, we need to put old things away. And that's true for a lot of things with the way we're doing things, with some behaviors. But often it's out of relationships that you haven't even thought were good or you thought were struggled that we gain the most. And so we don't want to be subtractors. We want to be adders to our lives. We want to add others to our lives. We want to be the type of people who are wanting others in our lives. And so be an adder of visionaries into your life. Don't focus on the people who you think that aren't helping your vision or whatever it may be, but be adders to your life. Because if you regain your vision, you will bring life to other people's lives. So be an adder of visionaries. Befriend people who are doing things that you want to be doing. Reach out to people, and not even people far away, but people close by. I believe that God has put people in your life that you may not even realize yet, who are called to help you, and you're called to help them. And so be an adder of visionaries in your life. If you become an adder of visionaries in your life, you'll just find that after a while there will be people who just kind of drop into your life who you never even realized were supposed to be a part of your life. And they just kind of appear. But if you are a subtractor, people will just kind of like, I don't want to be around those sort of people. And they'll just kind of disappear. But if you're an adder, people will naturally just kind of come around and be interested in what you're doing and be listening to what you're doing. Okay. Next point. So the second point, in order to regain vision for your life, you need to refocus your mindset. You see, our mindset determines our outlook on things. If you've been in a place, in a funk for a while, where you just haven't felt like you've been stuck or felt like you're in a rut, you will begin to develop the wrong mindsets, and you'll begin to develop can develop a wrong heart. And so oftentimes the way you can regain your vision or your purpose in life is by begin to assess the wrong mindsets in your life that are destructive and hurting you or harming you. You probably heard before that saying that a rut is just a grave with the ends kicked out, sort of thing. And although it's cliche-ish, it's also true. I was in a graveyard the other day, and as I was walking around the grave sites, I just had this thought that each one of these people had vision and potential and a dream for their lives and a purpose for their lives, because we know that God has given each person that, and He's given you a purpose and a dream and a mission in life. Sometimes I think that even if you're living, you can be stuck or in a place where you just aren't really living the calling out for your life. And so for me, it just made me realize that I need to assess the thoughts and the fears and the things in my life that are holding me back, and oftentimes it's not the stuff outside that's holding me back, but rather it's the stuff inside that's holding me back. And the realization that with God I can do all things. And sometimes we miss that. Sometimes we're trying to do it all on our own, but if that's the wrong mindset, it's with God I can do all things. God with me is way better than anything else. And so your mindsets determine the outcome of how you see things and how you do things. I was listening to a preacher one time recently, Kevin Gerald, who talked about how your mindset, this very thing, how your mindset determines how your outcome is. And David and Goliath, the biggest thing with David and Goliath, if you've heard the story before, Goliath was a giant, and it's a metaphor for difficulties and problems. It can be taken that way. And David was up against a giant who it seemed impossible to overcome and to conquer this. But you see, the biggest thing wasn't Goliath, but it was how David saw himself in front of Goliath. How do you see yourself in front of your problem, in front of your addiction, in front of your issue in life? Maybe it's a relationship issue, maybe it's a career issue. How do you see yourself in front of that mountain, or in front of that David, or in front of that Goliath? Determines how you will act and react to that problem or situation. So if you see yourself as small, David was small physically compared to Goliath. If you see yourself as small, you won't be able to conquer. But if you see yourself as, with God, I can do all things, then you will begin to reframe your actions and your mindsets to be able to step forward into what you were called to do. The last point that I want to share with you today is that you need to ask God to restore your vision. If you think about it, God is more excited and more passionate for your vision than you are. And so you are created for a purpose and on purpose. He has a calling for you. He has purpose for your life. And He wants you to get out of your rut, get out of the place that you're stuck in, and to go and fulfill your calling that He has on your life. I know that God is for you, and He has a plan for you. So I want to share the three things again. One, the first thing is to add visionaries to your life. Be around people and connect with people who are doing the things that you want to be doing. Add visionaries to your life. Two, reframe your mindset. Instead of looking at yourself like little David, look at yourself like David with God. It changes your perspective. And three, ask God to restore your vision for your life. Hey, I just want to say, keep dreaming, keep believing. God bless.
Hey, Ninja Man here. I get the honor of giving you thought of the day. God is more passionate about your vision than you are. Take that to the bank. Until next time, keep chopping.
Did you? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe or like below. If you do Instagram, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. There will be some more videos coming up, so stay tuned for that. I did want to say that I believe that God is for you. He's not against you. He has vision for your life, and He has a passion for you. And keep it going. All the best to you, and goodbye. That's such dumb. Sometimes you just have to, go with it. But I really should have a script, because if I had a script, I probably wouldn't read it anyway.